ॐ अज्ञानतिमिरान्धस्य ज्ञानाञ्जनशलाकया चक्षुरुन्मीलितं येन तस्मै श्रीगुरवे नमः। श्रीचैतन्यमनोभीष्टं स्थापितं येन भूतले स्वयं रूप कदा मह्यं ददाति स्वपदान्तिकम्। नमो ॐ विष्णुपादाय कृष्णप्रेष्ठाय भूतले श्रीमते भक्तिवेदान्त स्वामिनिति नामिने। नमस्ते सरस्वते देवे गौरवाणी प्रचारिणे निर्विशेष शून्यवादी पाश्चात्य देशतारिणे। जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासादि गौर भक्तवृंद। हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे हरे, हरे राम 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 हरे हरे। वाञ्छाकल्पतरुभ्यश्च कृपा सिन्धुभ्य एव च पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः। हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे हरे, हरे राम 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 हरे हरे। Hare Krishna. So we want to welcome everyone for the second last session of the series, day 6 of our 7-day seminar Bhagavad Saptaha on the prayers of Queen Kuntī, Kunti Stuti, based on the 8th chapter of the first canto. So today we'll start off with text 32. We'll chant 32, 33, 34 and 35. They are on the same theme of Krishna's appearance. So we'll chant those verses and then we'll get into the discussion. Kechidahorajam jatam punya shlokasya kirtaye yado priyasyan vavaye malayasyeva chandanam अपरे वसुदेवस्य देवक्यां याचितोऽभ्यगात् अजस्त्वम् अस्य क्षेमाय वधाय च सुरद्विषाम्. Let's chant together. Next two. Let's go. Louder. And the last verse. Very nice. These 4 verses, they run on the theme of the different reasons for Krishna's appearance in this world. Queen Kunti has explained the external and the internal reasons for Krishna's appearance. As we dwell into this topic, we would like to invite all the readers and listeners of this section into the pages of Chaitanya Charitamrita, where Rupa Goswami is having a wonderful interaction with Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu connected to this topic. Srila Rupa Goswami he is in an attempt to go to meet Sri Gauranga Mahaprabhu. He has left Vrindavan and by foot he is crossing through the forests and the mountainous regions on his way to go to Jagannath Puri, where Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu lives. As Rupa Goswami is crossing through different villages, he comes to a village called Satyabhamapur, which is actually the birthplace of Satyabhama Devi. Rupa Goswami has decided to write a text, the text on the pastimes of Sri Krishna. And Rupa Goswami has decided, I will write Krishna's Vrindavan pastimes, Krishna's Mathura pastimes, Krishna's Dwaraka pastimes, Krishna's Kurukshetra pastimes, all of that in one book called as Kṛṣṇa Lila Amritam. Can you imagine how voluminous that would be? In short, that's the Krishna book. And Rupa Goswami wanted to write that text in Sanskrit. But as he was crossing through Satyabhamapur, our Rupa Goswami, he took rest that night, and in the dream, Satyabhama Devi appeared before him. Rupa Goswami, in his dream, saw Satyabhama Devi, bedecked with jewels, golden complexioned, beautifully decorated with the finest silken robes. The eternal consort of Krishna. How opulent will she be? If we have ornaments and clothes in this world, what to speak of in the decorations of Swarga, and what to speak of Lakshmis of Vaikuntha, and then what to speak of Satyabhama of Dwaraka. Completely inexplicable. And in the dream, Rupa Goswami sees Satyabhama Devi, and Satyabhama Devi tells Rupa Goswami, it is my desire that instead of writing one book, you split it into two books. In one book, you write about Krishna in Vrindavan, and in another book, you write about Krishna outside Vrindavan. Don't write all of that in one book. Split it into two books. And Rupa Goswami wakes up from the dream. What happens when we have dreams? Most of the times, we don't even remember our dreams. And if we do remember, we will smile off saying, it was a dream. But what happened when Prabhupada saw Srila Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur in his dream, calling him with a gesture of his hands, come, take sannyas and take this mission of Prabhupada, of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu ahead. Prabhupada took that message very seriously, although it was a dream. Because when pure Vaishnavas come in the dream, and what they speak to us, if it's in line with Shastra, then we accept that to be truth. If they come in the dream and they say something which is not in line with Shastra, then we smile because it's an imposition of our mental thinking. But it's still auspicious because we saw a spiritually elevated personality. But for Rupa Goswami, he woke up and he was convinced Satyabhama Devi in her birthplace, hometown of Satyabhamapur, has instructed Rupa Goswami. Instead of writing one book, you write it in two parts. Krishna's pastimes in Vrindavan and Krishna's pastimes outside Vrindavan. Rupa Goswami didn't share this with anyone. He just kept it to himself, walked all the way, reached Jagannath Puri. Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu had gone to take his afternoon bath at the ocean. And when Chaitanya Mahaprabhu came, Rupa Goswami offered his obeisances. And as soon as he got up, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu looked at Rupa Goswami. And the first thing he said, Krishno nyo yadu sambhuto ya purna sostyathapparaha vrindavanam parityajya sa kvachin naiva gacchati. O Rupa, said Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, Krishno nyo yadu sambhuto yah purna so astyathapparaha. O Rupa, understand, there are two Krishnas, not one. He who is the original lives in Vrindavan, and his expansion leads to Mathura and Dwaraka. Therefore, O Rupa, don't take Krishna out of Vrindavan, because he never leaves Vrindavan. That was a confirmation for Rupa Goswami. Imagine, nobody told Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. And Rupa Goswami meets Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, offers obeisances. And Mahaprabhu doesn't ask him, how are you doing? Sarvam kushalam va? Is everything okay? Is not what Mahaprabhu asked. He just looked straight into the eyes of Rupa Goswami and said, Krishno nyo yadu sambhuto ya purna stotyatapparaha vrindavanam parityajya sa kvachinnaiva gacchati. O Rupa, there are two Krishnas. The complete, power-potent Purna Purushottam, the source of everything, lives in Vrindavan. And his expansion goes to Mathura and Dwaraka. And as the expansion leaves, the original continues to stay in Vrindavan. Therefore, O Rupa, don't take my Krishna out of Vrindavan. Which means it was a confirmation of what Satyabhama Devi was saying, that keep it to two books. And that's what Rupa Goswami did. Rupa Goswami wrote the books as Vidagdha Madhav Natak and Lalit Madhav Natak. Two dramas. One Krishna in Vrindavan and one outside Vrindavan. Ridhi yasya prernaya pravartitoham varaka rupopi tasya hare padakamalam vande chaitanya devasya. Rupa Goswami in the Mangalacharana to Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu. Rupa Goswami Pad writes, Ridhi yasya prernaya pravartitoham varaka rupopi. Rupa Goswami in the Mangalacharana, the invocation to Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu, he writes, although I, Rupa, I am most fallen and wicked, varaka rupopi, still I am being empowered to write these books. Just as an instrument, it is Chaitanya Mahaprabhu who is the author of these books. Rupa Goswami took 18 years to write Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu. 18 years, 1-8. When we receive the nectar of devotion, we receive it so easily. And Prabhupada writes that's the comprehensive study, the summary study of Rupa Goswami's Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu. So Rupa Goswami writes that whatever books I am empowered to write, I am simply an instrument. It is actually Chaitanya Mahaprabhu who is writing all these books. Dear devotees, it was Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's conclusion that although it seems to be one Krishna, there were actually two Krishnas who were born. Srila Jiva Goswami in his Gopal Champu also elaborates on this. How fascinating. On one hand, Kechit ahur ajam jatam. Ajam means he who has no birth. Jatam means he who is born. The first fascination is God born or is he unborn? Because if he is born, he cannot be unborn. If he is unborn, he cannot be born. Then when you say he is born, then there's another set of confusion. Is he Yashoda's son or is he Devaki's son? And if you say he's Devaki's son, then why is he called Yashoda Nandan? And if he's Yashoda's son, then how come he appeared in the prison to Devaki? And then if you say they are one, then why are we saying they're two? And if you're saying they're two, then why does Brahma says Advaitam, Achyutam, Anadim, Anantarupam, one without a second? How confusing is it? And then Krishna says, at the end of it all, if you did understand, then you will come to me. Janma karma chame divyam. Kuntī Devi, in a verse or two before this, she has mentioned this point. Janma karma cha vishwatman. Okay, Janma, you have taken birth. Then she says, Ajasya akarturatmanaha. You are Aja, but you take Janma. Akartuhu, you have nothing to do in this world, still you perform karma. How bewildering. How confusing. And to top it all, she gives an example of the bundle of contradictions. Damodar Lila. He who is Ugram Viram has become Yashodanandan. He who is Narasimha coming out of a pillar ready to shatter the whole creation. Yad bhiveti swayam bhayam. He himself is shivering in so much fear. He who is the Lord of everything, he is afraid of Mother Yashoda. He who is the greatest, he is the smallest. He from fear of whom the sun rises and sets, he is running in fear from Mother Yashoda's stick. He remembering whom lust, anger and greed are destroyed. In this pastime, he depicts lust, anger and greed. How? He is sleeping on Mother Yashoda's lap, and the desire to drink her milk is kama, is lust, which means it's a desire. And when that is not fulfilled, he who is akrodha paramananda nityananda rai, he becomes krodagni, and he takes a pestle and breaks all the pots and creates such a mess. And then he's scared he will leave butter footprints because the pots are broken, the butter is everywhere. Now he thinks, let me jump across this butter river, because if I land onto it, then wherever I walk, I will leave butter footprints, and a criminal never wants to leave any footprints or fingerprints. So he's deciding, let me jump over this river of butter. He who in his previous incarnation could jump over an ocean, as Ramachandra, in this incarnation is struggling to jump over a river of butter. And he tries his best and lands on the butter. And wherever he walks, he leaves behind beautiful butter footprints. And then he goes into his room and picks up the butter pot. And he has lust or kama, which means he gets little milk but he wants more. When mother puts him down for saving the pot of milk on the stove, then he gets angry. So he has lust, anger, now greed. He takes little butter, but he wants much more. So the greed is increasing. And wherever there is lust, anger and greed, what happens? Mother nature, which means mother, will run behind you with guna. Guna means three guna. Sattva, Rajas, Tamas. But guna also means ropes. So just like a conditioned soul in this world has lust, anger and greed, and tries to escape, Mother Nature will run behind him with ropes to bind him in the forest of Bhavasagara, Bhavaranya, Bhavavanam, the forest of material world. Similarly, the Lord of all creation, who is Mukunda, who can give liberation to others, he is bound and he is crying for his own liberation. Kuntī Devi is saying, Tat Atyanta Vidambanam. How bewildering is this? You sometimes come as a fish, but you're not a fish. You come as a tortoise, but you're not a tortoise. You come as a boar, but you're not a boar. You're half man, half lion, but sthambe sabhayam na mrigam na manusham. You come as a dwarf, but in no time from Vamana you become Trivikrama. So, do you have birth or no? If you don't, then how are you born? And if you have birth, who is your mother? And if it's Devaki and not Yashoda, then why are you Yashoda Nandan? And if it's Yashoda and not Devaki, what are you doing in the prison? And if it is both, how can there be two Krishnas? And if it's actually the same Krishna, then why are we calling them two? And if it's actually two, why do we say he is one without a second? Kuntī Devi in these verses, she's including all these parameters. And Srila Jiva Goswami in the Gopal Champu has reconciled all of this so beautifully. In line with Rupa Goswami's instruction that Mahaprabhu gave Rupa Goswami, that Krishna never leaves Vrindavan. Jiva Goswami in his Gopal Champu, Rupa Goswami in his Laghu Bhagavatamritam have put all these pieces so beautifully. So for the ease of presentation, in the next couple of minutes, I would like to present their presentation. They very beautifully explain that yes, Krishna is unborn. He never takes birth. And Devaki and Vasudev, they prayed to attain the Supreme Lord. Prishni and Sutapa, in their previous incarnation, they prayed to Narayana and said, we know you have no birth, but it is our desire to have a son like you. And Narayana thought to himself, like me? Asama urdhva. There is nobody like me. If you want a son like me, it must be me. So Devaki and Vasudev, when they prayed like this, although Vishnu doesn't have birth, Krishna doesn't have a birth, he's Aja. Ajopi san avyayatma bhutanam ishwaropi san prakritim swam adhishthaya sambhavami atma mayaya. Although he is unborn, he entered the mind of Vasudev. And then from the mind of Vasudev, he entered the womb of Devaki. And when the time came, he came in a full-blown incarnation. He didn't come out as a child. Sashanka chakram sakirita kundalam sapita vastram saraziru hekshanam sahara bakshas thalashobi kaustubam namami vishnum shirasa chaturbhujam. He appeared with his four hands. And he was smiling when he appeared. Babies in this world, when we appear, how do we appear? Crying. And if we don't cry, then it's a problem. Then the nurse and the child starts to cry. And when the child starts to cry, that's the only instance in life when the child cries and the mother smiles. The child cries and the mother smiles. And when we come, we are covered with so many interesting substances. Sometimes we have no hair and sometimes maybe one or two strands like this. And we are crying completely in avidya, not knowing where we are born, to whom, why, how, nothing. And here is the Supreme Lord appearing in the prison house. Complete manifestation. Bringing his own dhoti. He got all his ornaments. Beautiful locks of soft black curly hair. With all his weapons. Shankhabrin nandaki chakri sharanga dhanva gadadaraha rathanga pani rakshobhya sarva praharana ayudha. Shankhabrin, he had a conch shell which represents the water element. Shankhabrin Nandaki, he got his sword, he got his shield. Chakri, he got his Sudarshan Chakra, which is the fire element. Sharanga Dhanva, he got his bow, which is the space element. Gadadhara, he got his club, which is the earth element. So he got earth, water, fire, air, ether in the form of 5 weapons. Shankhabrin, Nandaki, Chakri, Shankhadanva, Gadadhara. Sarva Praharana Ayudaha. The Supreme Lord appeared with all powerful weapons. And with a smile, he looks at Devaki and Vasudeva. He looks at Devaki and Vasudeva and he says, "Dear mother and father, you have been struggling for such a long time because you wanted me as your son for so many lifetimes. I have appeared. I have appeared just for you." And in no time, the Supreme Lord becomes a baby. In the 3rd chapter of the 10th canto, it is described, "Tathascha shaurer bhagavat prachoditaha sutam samadaya sasutikagrahat." Whom did Vasudeva see? Tathascha shaurer bhagavat prachoditaha. He saw Bhagavan. But when he picked up, whom did he pick up? Sutam samadaya sasutikagrahat. Shukdev Goswami says the one who instructed Vasudeva was God. But when Vasudeva picked up the little basket, he picked up his baby. Which means with so much affection, if I don't take you across, who will? Dear devotees, this Srila Jiva Goswami explains is the example how the Supreme Lord is unborn. He was not born. There was no umbilical cord which was cut. There was no biological birth from the body of Devaki. The Lord just appeared. The example given is, just like from behind the hills, it seems like the sun rises. The sun is never hiding behind the hills, but it seems as if it's coming from behind the hills. So similarly, from the womb of Devaki, the Supreme Lord manifested in His full potency, and that is the example how the Lord is Ajam. Kechid Ahur Ajam. But then how is He born? Srila Jiva Goswami describes, Mother Yashoda was pregnant at the same time with twins. She had baby Krishna and she had a baby girl, Durga Devi, Yoga Maya. Mother Yashoda was pregnant with these twins, and Srila Jiva Goswami explains, as Mother Yashoda delivered the babies, because of labor pain and physical exhaustion, she fell unconscious. And that's when Krishna from the prison in Mathura was carried by Vasudeva Maharaj across the Yamuna. And beautiful descriptions are given. I'm feeling very tempted to say those descriptions given by our acharyas, but for some other time. Because this, you can see the flood of nectar in the form of the water droplets there. We'll keep that for some Janmashtami in a future date. But as Vasudeva Maharaj carried Vasudev Krishna from Mathura across the Jamuna and took him to Gokul Mahavan, here was Mother Yashoda with Krishna on this side and Yoga Maya on this side. She had given birth and the nurse kept the baby boy to the side and the baby girl to this side. And Mother Yashoda was unconscious. Here comes Vasudev in the Prasuti Graha, in the place where Mother Yashoda had delivered the babies. And he kept Krishna and took the baby girl. Now when he picked the baby girl and went back to the prison, we know the story. How she becomes the Ashtabhuja Durga and kicks Kamsa on the head and flies in the sky. And the story continues. But our acharyas explain, these two Krishnas, Yashoda's Krishna and Devaki's Krishna, they merged and became one. Yashoda's Krishna, Jiva Goswami explains, was physical birth. He entered Yashoda's womb and stayed there for 9 months. Mother Yashoda had labor pain and she gave birth to Krishna, and it's described the umbilical cord was cut in Gokul Mahavan. Actually, Mother Yashoda saw this astounding phenomenon. When she became pregnant, her desire to eat sweets increased. Somebody had entered her womb who was stealing sweets through her mouth. Mother Yashoda would time and again say, I feel like eating makhan misri. I feel like eating butter with sweets, sugar. And as she would eat, she would feel, I don't know why this desire to eat is so strong. But then when Krishna appeared from her womb, that desire disappeared. Now she saw that desire running around from home to home, stealing makhan misri. Then she knew, old habits die hard. Braje prasiddham navanita chauram, gopangananam cha dukula chauram, aneka janmarjita papa chauram chauragraganyam purusham namami. So here is Devaki's Krishna, called as Vasudev Krishna or Devaki Nandan Krishna, who is Ajam. He is Bhagavan. And then there is Yashoda's Krishna, Yashoda Nandan, Vrindavan Krishna, who is Jatam. So Kechid Ahur Ajam Jatam. How could we have explained this without Jiva Goswami, Rupa Goswami and Mahaprabhu? It seems like apparent contradiction. Ajam and Jatam. Now, not just that. It gets even more interesting. As Krishna runs around in Vrindavan, Devaki's Krishna is inside Yashoda's Krishna. So Vasudev Krishna is from Mathura. That's Devaki's Krishna. And then there's Nanda Nandan, Yashoda Nandan, Brajendra Nandan, Shyamsundar Krishna. Both in one body, running around. Now Chaitanya Charitamrita describes, when demons would come in, Krishna would kill them. Astounding. Who taught him? How did he kill Aghasur and Bakasur and Dhenukasur and Arishtasur and Vatsasur? How did he kill all these demons? Shakatasur, Trinavarta, Putana. Who taught Krishna? He who's scared of thundering and lightning. It's described Yashoda's Krishna is so scared in Vrindavan. As a child, he would hide behind his mother's sari and say, Maya, I am very scared by this lightning and thundering. Maya would say, okay, you hide behind me, I will protect you, don't worry. And then he would hide and see. He would sometimes tell Mother Yashoda, oh Maya, I want that moon. I want this moon. So Vraja Chandra, Vrindavan Chandra, wants the Chandra of Vrindavan. And Mother Yashoda would say, if you drink milk, then I will give you the moon. You are being a naughty boy, you're not drinking milk, then how I'll give you the moon? You drink milk, I'll bring the moon for you. Krishna said, sure? Mother Yashoda said, guaranteed. Krishna says, okay. Krishna starts to drink the milk. Mother Yashoda said, not like this. You have to come with me. There is a place to drink milk. Come. She would hold the hand of Krishna. She would hold Krishna's hand and take him to the banks of Chandra Sarovar. And on Chandra Sarovar, the moon would get reflected and shine in the water. And Mother Yashoda would say, sip the milk. And Krishna would sip. And then Mother Yashoda would open, she would close Krishna's eyes first and say, sip the milk. And then when Krishna would sip, she would unfold. And she would tell, look, I got that moon this close. Without telling him that's the reflection. With the first sip of milk, I've got the moon so close. You continue to drink, I'll bring the moon to you. The moon has come so close with your milk. Continue to sip and the moon will come closer. And then Krishna drank. And then he would go and touch the reflection and he wouldn't be able to catch. Mother Yashoda says, you're not drinking properly, that's why. At another time, Mother Yashoda would tell Krishna, Krishna, have you observed? Your shika is not growing. Balaram's shika is growing. When Balaram tied his shika came up to the shoulder. But you're tying your shika, it's only so much. Krishna said, yes, I observed that. What's the secret? Mother Yashoda said, because he's drinking milk. If you drink milk like him every night, then your shika will also grow. Then Krishna, with pot of milk in one hand, he would hold the shika and try to sip and see if the shika is growing. And with every sip, he would ask Mother Yashoda, is it growing? And Mother Yashoda would say, yes, just little bit. Continue to drink, the shika is growing. Who can love the Supreme Lord like this? She would put Krishna to sleep and tell him stories. Krishna would say, oh Maya, I'm not getting sleep. Can you tell me some story? Maya Yashoda will say, okay, I'll tell you some nice story. Krishna would say, but don't tell me the same story again. New story. So Mother Yashoda would say, okay, I'll tell you a new story. Once upon a time, Krishna, there was a boy by the name Prahlad. And then the 10 chapters of the 7th canto, Mother Yashoda would say in about 10 seconds. There was a boy called Prahlad and his father was Hiranyakashipu. He didn't like the son. He tried to kill him. You know what happened at that time? Hiranyakashipu punched the pillar and Krishna said, ah. Mother Yashoda said, how you know? How do you know that's what happened? Krishna would smile and he would say, oh Maya, these are my pastimes. You're telling me about me. That lion was me. And Mother Yashoda would look at Krishna and say, you who's scared of your own shadow, who jumps like a kitten on my lap, seeing your own reflection and shadow and seeing the thundering and lightning, you are Narasimha? And Krishna would smile. And Mother Yashoda would say, how fascinating. You seem to know all the stories. Krishna said, no, but I'm not sleepy. I need one more story. But this time something that I don't know. Mother Yashoda would say, okay, I'll tell you another story. There was a king by the name Dasharath Maharaj. And then 24,000 verses of Valmiki Ramayana in about 24 seconds. Mother Yashoda would say, Dasharath Maharaj had 4 sons. And then she came to the marriage of Sita and Ram, and Krishna was smiling. And then Mother Yashoda came to the point where Ravana came to kidnap Mother Sita. And as soon as she came to that point of Ravana coming as a sadhu to kidnap Mother Sita, Krishna got up from his bed and said, Lakshman! Lakshman, get my bow and arrow. I will kill this Ravana and protect Sita. Mother Yashoda starts looking at Krishna. Am I telling you stories to wake you up from sleep or telling you stories to put you to sleep? Whom are you calling? Krishna said, I am calling Lakshman. Yashoda said, you know Lakshman? Yes, Balaram. So Mother Yashoda said, so you are Narasimha, you are Ram. Balaram comes running into the room and said, yes, and I am Lakshman. Rupa Goswami writes these verses in Padyavali. And Mother Yashoda looks at Balaram. Oh, you're also incarnation. Welcome, welcome. And Balaram said, oh mother, when Krishna is Vishnu, I am Anantashesh. When he is Ram, I am Lakshman. How fortunate are you, oh Maya. This time he is Krishna and I am Balaram. Mother Yashoda picks up the stick. And she looks at Balaram and said, is there a specific reason why the Dashavatar pick only my house to appear in? All incarnations don't have any other home to appear in. Balaram said, no, really, your love is so attractive. Just to taste your love we come. Mother Yashoda said, you've heard of Damodar Lila? I can do a part 2 with you, O Balaram. Balaram runs away. This Krishna who's so sweet, how could he in Vrindavan kill Putana and Trinavarta and Akasur and Bakasur? Krishnadas Kaviraj Goswami in Chaitanya Charitamrita explains, 2 Krishnas in one body, correct? So the one who's tasting the butter in the neighbor's house, the one who's scared like a kitten, the one who wants bedtime stories, the one who is smiling, the one who is running around, the one who is sleeping on Mother Yashoda's lap, that is Yashoda's Krishna. And that Krishna, Vasudev Krishna from Mathura, who is born with weapons, he knows what he's born for. So all the killing that is done in Vrindavan is done by Vasudev Krishna while being in the body of Yashodanandan. Kaviraj Goswami explains this in Chaitanya Charitamrita. But now is the interesting thing. Krishna's friends don't know all this. So they see one moment he's stealing butter and breaking pots. And another moment, he's climbing on the top of Arishtasur and Bakasur and Dhenukasur and slamming them down to death. It's astonishing. It's almost like bipolar or split personality disorder. What is going on? How can this be so extreme? So Krishna's friends say, oh Krishna, what just happened? And Krishna says, did you see how I punched the demon to death? So killing is done by Vasudev Krishna. Credit is taken by Yashodanandan. So Krishna tells his friends, did you see how I punched the demon on the face? The friends say, Krishna, don't think you are better than us. Sakhya bhave sakha kare skanda arohan. Tumi kon bado log, tumi ami sham. The friends tell Krishna, hey Krishna, don't think you're very great. Actually, we are equal. Actually, we are better. You are inferior, we are better. But out of our kindness, we are ready to bring you up to equal status. Krishna said, didn't you see I punched and killed the demon? Can you do it? The friend said, don't take undue credit. Your father Nanda Maharaj worships Shaligram Shilas. And anybody who worships Shaligram Shilas, Vishnu will help their son, of course. So Nanda Maharaj worships Shaligrams. Therefore, Vishnu enters your body when you need help. Vishnu kills, goes back to Vaikuntha. You take credit. Actually, that's true. What the friends are saying in a joking mood of humor, it's actually truth, because it was Vishnu who is Ajam in Mathura, who comes into the body of Krishna and kills, while it is Krishna who is Jatam, Kechid, Ahur, Ajam, Jatam. And then what happens? When Akrura comes from Mathura with the chariot, it is that Krishna, Vasudev Krishna, who came from Mathura in the first place. He gets onto the chariot and he goes back to Mathura, and then from there to Dwaraka, and then from there to Kurukshetra, etc. But Krishna always lives in Vrindavan. He lives in the hearts of the Brajvasis. So all the pieces are reconciled by Rupa Goswami, Jiva Goswami and Mahaprabhu. Therefore Kunti Devi says, oh Krishna, when you appear as Devaki Nandan, you are Ajam. But when you appear as Yashoda Nandan, you are Jatam. Kechid Ahur, Ajam Jatam. In the set of 4 verses, after explaining the beautiful mystery of oneness and difference in Krishna, Kunti Devi talks about 4 reasons why Krishna appears. Reason number 1, Kunti Devi explains, Yado priyasyanvavaye malayasyaiva chandanam. Krishna, you appear in the family, the Chandra Vamsha, because many great devotees have appeared in that kingdom, in that lineage. Krishna is Chandravanshi. Ramachandra is Suryavanshi. Parshuram comes in Agnivansha. So there is Natat Bhasayate Surya, na Shashanka, na Pavaka. In all of these 3 dynasties, 3 incarnations appeared. Parshuram in the fire dynasty, Ram in the solar, Sri Chaitanya, not Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, but Sri Krishna in the lunar or Chandravansha. And this Chandravansha has seen so many great kings. King Yadu, Maharaj Yadu was a very great king, because of which Krishna has so many names with the name Yadu. If you read the Vishnu Sahasranam, one name out of 1,000 names for Krishna is Yadu Sreshtha. Yadu Sreshtha. He who is the best among the Yaduvanshis. Just like Ramachandra's line is called Raghuvanshi, Krishna's line is called Yaduvanshi, because of great kings, pure devotees like Maharaj Yadu. So Krishna is called Yadu Sreshtha. Krishna is called Yaduvara. Yaduvara Parishat Swair Daurbirasyanna Dharmam. Jayadev Goswami calls Krishna Yadunandan. Kuru Yadunandana Chandana Shishira Tarena Karena Payodhare. Kuru Yadunandana. Why is Krishna called Yadunandan? Same. Yado Priyasyanvavaya, because Yadu Maharaj appeared in the Chandravansha, therefore pulled by his love, Krishna appeared there. In the Brahmanda Puran, Krishna is called Yadudvaha. Like Arjuna is called Kurudvaha. Krishna is called Yadudvaha. Yaduraj. Krishna is called Yadava because of the same reason. Hari Haraya Nama Krishna Jadavayo Namaha Yadavayo Madhavayo Keshavaya Namaha. How does he get the name Yadava? Because of Yadu Maharaj. Those who are descendants of Manu are called Manava. Those who are descendants of Danu are called Danava. Those who are descendants of Yadu are called Yadava. Krishna is called Yadavendra. So many names just with Yadu Maharaj. The whole family is called the family of Yadus. Vrishnis, Yadus. So Kunti Devi is saying, just because Maharaj Yadu, Maharaj Shibi Chakravarti, another great Vaishnava, another great devotee, it's described how great was Shibi. Shibi was one of the most magnanimous, charitable kings. One time there was an eagle which was chasing a dove, a little bird. And the dove, the little pigeon or the little dove bird came to Shibi Maharaj, who was also Chandravanshi in the line of Krishna. And the dove told Shibi Chakravarti, you please save me. Sakradeva prapannoyas tavasmiti sayachate. I am begging you for shelter. Please protect me. Shibi Maharaj said, what happened? The bird said, there's an eagle or a hawk which is chasing me for life. I want you to protect my life. Shibi Chakravarti said, hide behind. I will protect you. The hawk came in, or the eagle came in, and said, O king, you should be equal to everyone. Samam charantam sarvatra. Samoham sarva bhuteshu. If you are protecting the dove, you must protect me also. Shibi Chakravarti said, I am ready to protect you. Ask what you want. The hawk said, I want the dove. I want my food. Shibi Chakravarti said, I cannot give you the dove because anybody at the time of distress taking shelter of the king, it's the duty of the king to protect. So I need to protect him. Ask for something else. The hawk said, in that case, I need flesh. Why don't you pop out some flesh from your body and give it to me? Shibi Chakravarti said, so be it, I will give you. How much do you need? The hawk said, as much as the weight of the dove, that much weight of flesh you give from your body, I will let the dove go. For me, it doesn't matter. I just need to eat. Shibi Chakravarti said, okay. He took a weighing scale, kept the dove on one side, and took a sword and started cutting out his flesh from his hands. Both biceps or arms or flesh muscles were put on the other side of the scale. And somehow, mysteriously, the dove was so much more heavier. Shibi Chakravarti tried scooping out flesh, but it didn't match the weight of the dove. Then Shibi Chakravarti started scooping out his thighs and his calf, and he started putting all the lumps of flesh on the other side to match the weight of the dove. How magnanimous is the king? It still didn't match. Shibi Chakravarti finally took the sword and he said, I want to sacrifice myself. But before that, I want to see the weight. So he got on to the weighing scale. And when he got on, he exactly matched the weight of the dove. So he said, so be it. I will kill myself and give it to you. Shibi Chakravarti took the sword and was about to behead himself. The hawk became Indra. And the dove became Agni. Devatas. They appeared and said, stop, 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 stop. In Swarga, we have heard about how magnanimous you are. We just wanted to check whether you are actually so magnanimous. Shibi Chakravarti passed the test. Indra and Agni blessed Shibi. May the Supreme Lord Sri Hari appear in the same dynasty as you. Just like in the Malayan hills, when there is a sandalwood tree, the fragrance of the sandalwood spreads throughout the forest. Similarly, O Shibi, O Yayati, O Nahusha, O Yadu, all these kings in Chandravansha, they are all like Malayan hills. And Krishna is the Chandan, the sandalwood, whose fragrance is spread through the whole dynasty. So Kunti says, first reason why Krishna appears in the Chandravansha is because there are so many great devotees. Reason number 2, Krishna comes in this world seeing the painful cry of Devaki and Vasudeva. Let's chant the verse. Paritranaya sadhunam vinashaya cha dushkritam dharma samsthapanarthaya. Krishna says paritranaya sadhunam. He doesn't say vinashaya cha dushkritam. One of the questions that we received through the paper in the last few days, the question was, why does Krishna have to come down in this world? Couldn't he have given Kamsa a heart attack? That was the question. Why did Krishna come in this world? Couldn't he have given Kamsa a heart attack? Of course, surely enough he could have. If our triglycerides and cholesterol can give us a heart attack, what to speak of Krishna? Definitely Krishna could have given Kamsa a heart attack. But that's not why he comes in this world. He didn't come in this world to kill Hiranyakashipu. He came in this world for Prahlad. He didn't come in this world to kill Kamsa. He comes in this world for Devaki and Vasudeva. As Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, he didn't come in this world for anything. He didn't come in this world to kill anyone. He came in this world because Advaita Acharya was crying so loudly. Tulasi dalamatrena jalasya chulukena va vikrinite swam atmanam bhaktebhyo bhaktavatsala. Tulasi, Manjari and Ganga Jal is all that Advaita Acharya offered. And he was crying, Krishna, please come in this world. Reciprocating to Advaita Acharya's call, Mahaprabhu appeared. Ganga Jala Tulasi Manjari Anukshan Krishna Pada Padme Bhave Kare Samarpan. Chaitanya Charitamrita describes Advaita Acharya would offer Ganga water and Tulsi leaves and say, Krishna, please come. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, please appear in this world. Bhakti has become extinct. People have forgotten bhakti. Please come in this world and restore dharma. So for Advaita Acharya's calling, Srivas Thakur's calling, Haridas Thakur's calling, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu comes in this world. So second reason Kuntī Devi gives, she says, you come in this world seeing the pain of Devaki and Vasudeva. And surely enough, Kamsa Maharaj was taking his sister on the day of her wedding. How wonderful, how nice. Kamsa as the brother, the mama for Krishna. The brother for Devaki, the mama for Krishna. Kamsa was taking Devaki and Vasudeva on the day of their marriage. And that's when the Akashvani or the aerial voice said, what a fool you are, Kamsa. You are serving Devaki without knowing that her 8th son will cause death to you. As soon as Kamsa heard this, from gentleman he became a mental man. This is the nature of people in this world. They are not truly nice. They are nice till the time you do what is nice for them. When we oppose, then the true Kaliya head comes out. Till then, you'll see Yamuna is unaffected, peaceful. As soon as Krishna jumps into the Yamuna, that's when the head of Kaliya comes out. So Kamsa was gentleman, quoting shlokas like a Vidwan. But as soon as he heard the 8th son of Devaki will kill you, immediately he dragged Devaki by the hair and pulled out the sword to murder and slaughter his own sister. And Vasudeva Maharaj, such a Satya Sankalpasthitaha, such a great truthful person, he was telling Kamsa through philosophy, you shouldn't be doing this to anybody, let alone a woman, let alone some lady who's about to get married, let alone your sister. She's supposed to be my wife, said Vasudeva. You shouldn't be doing this. And it's not she, it's her 8th child. Why do you kill her? Kamsa said, if I kill her, what to speak of 8th child? Even first child will not come out. Vasudeva said, it's possible that the aerial voice is false. And if it's true, Don't worry. As soon as what to speak of 8th, as soon as the first child is born, I will bring the baby to you. You kill the baby. Is that okay with you? But let go of my wife. Let her live. And Kamsa saw so much desperate, helpless calling in the eyes of Vasudeva that he said, okay, I know you're truthful. You'll keep your word. When your 8th son is born, you bring him to me. The first child is born. Vasudeva took the child to Kamsa. Kamsa started crying. He said, I have never seen a father so truthful. You're bringing your own child on the day of his birth to his own murderer. No, Vasudeva, it's not the first child, it's the 8th. Take your child. Vasudeva was happy, Kamsa was happy. Narad Muni comes to the scene. Oftentimes he's depicted as Narayana, Narayana. Narad Muni comes to the scene and tells Kamsa, what did you do? Kamsa said, Vasudeva is so good a father. He got in the first child. And I sent the child back because it's only the 8th son who's the problem. Narad Muni smirked. And he looked at Kamsa and said, 8th son? So if I have 10 fingers, how do I count? Is it 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8? Or is it 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8? Or is it 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8? With every 8th count, it's a different child. Kamsa, is it 8th child according to the chronology of birth? Or is it 8th child as far as fame? 8th child as far as intelligence? 8th child as far as strength? It's possible the first child of Vasudeva would be the 8th child according to a certain category. How did you let that child go? At this point, Shukdev Goswami calls Narad Muni Deva Darshana. Deva Darshana means he who wants to see Krishna quick. If he lets Kamsa live like this, then after 5 more years, second child will be born. Another 5 more years, third child will be born. Narad Muni did not want to have Devaki and Vasudeva wait so much. So he wanted Kamsa to do his duty quickly so that it will speed up Krishna's appearance in this world. And the faster Krishna comes in this world, Narada is actually dragging Kamsa to death. Narada Muni is ready to take the blemish for all times to come, misunderstood by people to be a problematic prankster. But he's actually the purest Vaishnava. Kamsa walks through the script. And then you see, Krishna appears as the 8th child. And after living 10 years and 7 months in Gokul Mahavan, he comes back to Mathura. He's invited into the wrestling arena of Kamsa. And what does Krishna do? He drags Kamsa by the hair. Ye yatha mam prapadhyante tam stataiva bhajamyaham. Kamsa, if you drag my mother by her hair on the day of her wedding, then I, Devaki Nandan, will drag you by your hair on the day of your death. Everything that Krishna does has a reason. Kunti Devi says, you couldn't see the pain in Devaki and Vasudeva's lives. Children were being killed in their presence. 7th child Balaram seemed a miscarriage. 8th child Krishna, you appeared. Devaki Rani could not even breastfeed you, could not even bathe you and embrace you. You left in the middle of the night. And after 11 years, when you came back, Devaki Rani stood with open arms for the first time seeing her child, 11-year-old. Krishna, you appeared in this world. Reason number 1, to increase the fame of the dynasty. Reason number 2, to remove the distress of Vaishnavas like Devaki and Vasudeva. And Advaita Acharya, Haridas Thakur, Srivas Thakur. Why did Ramachandra come in this world? Putra Kameshti Yajna of Dasharat Maharaj. Same reason. Reason number 3. Kunti Devi says, The third reason why you have come in this world. Jayatu Jayatu Devo Devaki Nandanoyam. Jayatu Jayatu Krishna Vrishnivansha Pradipaha. Jayatu Jayatu Megha Shamala Komalango. Jayatu Jayatu Prithvi Bharanasho Mukundaha. Krishna, the third reason why you have come in this world is to reduce the burden, the weight on the back of Mother Earth. Srila Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur has written such a brilliant commentary at this point. He writes, when Krishna met Kubja in Mathura, everyone's heard of Kubja? Kubjaya kimu nama rupam adhikam kim tat sudam no dhanam. What was Kubja known for? Yes, devotion, and she was hunched back. That's correct. She was not the best example as far as beauty is concerned. Let's put it like that. It is described when Krishna met Kubja, who was hunched back. Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur says Krishna held Kubja by the chin, placed his lotus feet on her feet, placed his hands, his fingers on her chin, and like a chiropractor, straightened her back. And Kubja stood with a very straight back. Srila Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur says, what does this represent? He says Kubja was the incarnation of Mother Earth. And Mother Earth had become hunched back by the weight of adharma. And Krishna came and placed his lotus feet on Kubja's lotus feet, held her by the chin and said, why fear when I am here? And straightened her back. Krishna appeared in this world to revive dharma or to remove the burden on the back of Mother Earth. We know in the Krishna book it begins with how Mother Earth had become a cow. And she went to Brahma Loka and Brahma took her to Vaikuntha. And she prayed, my Lord, there's so much adharma on my back. Unsaintly kings, please appear, kill all of them and restore my honor and dignity. So Krishna came for Mother Earth. I'll tell you something fascinating in this regard. Our Acharya is right. When Krishna was a baby, we know the very famous pastime where Krishna ate dirt. One very great commentator in Sri Vallabhacharya Mahaprabhu's line, he writes, when Krishna was eating dirt, he was thinking to himself, in this incarnation, I have come to reduce the weight of Mother Earth. And how do I reduce the weight of Mother Earth? By eating her dirt little by little. If I eat lot of dirt, then the weight on her back will reduce. Krishna thought to himself, Prithvi bhara nasho mukundaha. So as a child he thought, I can reduce the burden of Mother Earth by removing some of the dirt and putting it into my mouth. And this was his mission. And that's when Balaram held him by the hand and said, the weight that you have to reduce, if you put it in your stomach, you will have stomach indigestion. You cannot reduce the weight of Mother Earth like this. And finally, Kuntī Devi says the fourth reason why Krishna comes in this world. It is to uplift everybody by performing pastimes, hearing and chanting which everyone becomes a devotee. Krishna comes in this world to spread bhakti. Please everyone chant. Anugrahaya bhaktanam manusham deham astitaha bhajate tadrishi krida ya shrutva tatparo bhavet. Shukdev Goswami says, Anugrahaya bhaktanam. Out of kindness and mercy, Krishna comes in this world. And manusham deham astitaha. Isn't it a contradiction? In the Brahma Samhita it is said, with all his senses he can do everything. With his eyes he can walk. With his hands he can smell. With his ears he can eat. He can do everything with all his senses. Angani yasya sakalendriya vrittimanti. But in this verse it is said, Manusham deham astitaha. How kind of Krishna, he who can eat through all his senses, just to relate to everyone, he eats only through his mouth. He can see through all his senses, but to relate to all of us, he sees only through his eyes. He can smell through all his senses, but to relate to all of us, he smells only through his nose. And in this way, he doesn't break maryada. He performs naravat lila, human-like pastimes. धूरी भरे अति शोभित शाम जो कैसी बनी सिर सुंदर चोटी खेलत खात फिरे अंगना पग पैंजनी बाजती पीरी कचोटी या छवि कोरस खानी बिलोकत वारत काम कला निधि कोटी काग के भाग बड़े सजनी हरि हाथ उस ले गयो माखन रोटी. The acharyas say, how beautiful is Krishna. He comes in this world in a form and performs pastimes that attracts everyone's heart. Dhuri bhare ati shobhita shamaju. As a baby, Krishna's running around naked, dressed in the 10 directions, no kopin even. Baby Gopal is running around. And sometimes he just sits in the dust of Braj and he takes some Braj and Raj and So he's putting everything. And as a baby, he's sitting and he's decorating himself with Brajraj. And Mother Yashoda has tied his hair like a fountain. Kaisi bani sir sundar choti. So baby Gopal is sitting with a nice fountain hair. And he's sitting and decorating himself with Brajraj. And at that time, Khelat khat phire angana pag painjani bajati piri kachoti. Sometimes Mother Yashoda puts a little yellow dhoti that goes from his waist up to his knees. And ankle bells, wherever he walks and runs around. Mother Yashoda says, Krishna, you eat this roti, then you can go and play with your friends. Krishna looks at the friends say, Krishna, you finish playing, then you eat the roti. Krishna doesn't know what to do. Khelat khat phire angana pag painjani bajati piri kachoti. With this little yellow dhoti and tinkling ankle bells, he's looking towards the kitchen and looking outside to the friends and saying, I am coming, but Mother Yashoda's looking, saying, no, you got to finish. Yes, I am finishing. Then Krishna's friends are saying, but you said you're coming. I am coming. And in this way, Krishna's thinking what to do. Maybe I should take my roti, bite a little, play a little. And as Krishna's thinking what to do, there's a crow sitting on the top of the branch of the tree and thinking. To get Bhagavat Prasad is so rare. What to speak of the Prasad which comes from the lotus palms of Gopal. He anyway doesn't want to eat it. He wants to go and play with the friends. It is a win-win. Kaag ke bhag bade sajni hari haath so le gayo makhan roti. All glories to the fortune of this crow that dips down and takes the makhan roti from Krishna. Winks at Krishna. Krishna says, thank you. Mother Yashoda looks at Krishna. Did you eat? Yes, look. It's gone. Naravat Lila. Krishna comes in this world. Anugrahaya bhaktanam manusham deham astitaha. He comes in this world and performs sweet pastimes like this. And what are we supposed to do? Queen Kuntī says, Shrunvanti gayanti grinantyabhikṣṇasha smaranti nandanti tavehita jana. She says these pastimes. Next verse, this is 36 of 1:836. Shrunvanti gayanti grinantyabhikṣṇasha smaranti nandanti tavehitam jana. Taeva pashyanta chirena tavakam. Kunti Devi has said, anybody, Shrunvanti, who hears the pastimes of Gopal in Vrindavan, and Gayanti sings and preaches about Krishna to one and all, and not just preaching and singing, Grinhanti, practice in their life. Dear devotees, Hari Katha is not the act of verbal exercise. Tasmin mahan mukharita madhubhish charitram Piyusha, Shesha, Sarita, Parita, Sravanti. Bhagavatam describes what is Harikatha. Very beautiful description of what is Harikatha. Tasmin Mahan Mukharita. The word Mukharita means that which comes from the Mukha, mouth. But Mukharita also means transformation. Ye Mukharit hua, which means this became this. Dear devotees, Harikatha is first pastimes in the heart of the speaker. First, it is Krishna Lila, Krishna Bhakti in the heart of the sadhu. And then what happens? Mukharita. It gets transformed, Mukharita, through the mouth. Tasmin Mahan Mukharita. Madhubhish Charitram. The pastimes of Krishna which take place in the heart of the speaker, they get transformed in the form of words. And they come out. And they go through the ear of the listener. And then Mukharita. That pastime which became words, went as words and became pastime in the heart of the listener. Therefore, many times, while listening we feel, oh, I feel the pastime is going on in front of my eyes. I feel as if I am witnessing the pastime. This is called Mukharita. Tasmin Mahan Mukharita Madhvish Charitram. Harikatha is not an intellectual exercise. It is not gymnastics. It is not a platform to entertain. It is not a platform to show off. It is not a platform of verbal exercise. It is not a place of, yes, it is education, but it is much more than education. It is not head-to-head transfer, it's heart-to-heart transfer. What the sadhu realizes in his heart, he transforms that in the form of words, and when the words enter through the ear, it becomes the Leela in the heart. And beautiful example is given. This is, please remember, this is elaboration on the word Shrunvanti that Kuntī Devi has used. The example given is Piyusha Shesha Sarita. Harikatha is like a river. Not one river, rivers. Sadhu is defined as that person from whose lotus lips rivers of Harikatha go in all directions at all times. And it is not considered to be a pond. Why? Because pond is still and stagnant and static. But Harikatha is not static. It is ecstatic. It is not a pond, but it is a river. And what does that mean? We can make our plan that, okay, I will speak this, I will speak this, I will speak this. But then what happens? In river, there's no control. Sometimes this direction and sometimes that direction and sometimes Krishna Lila and sometimes Gaura Lila and little bit of Ram Lila. So we should understand, we are not in control. Yes, we should try our best in preparing. One very exalted disciple of Srila Prabhupada once told me, for every class, and that sadhu, now he's no more, that sadhu was already past 70 at that time. He told me, for every class that I speak, I prepare for 3 hours, he said. He said, but when I go to speak, I let Krishna speak. I don't beat myself, oh, I had prepared this, but I didn't speak all this. That's fine, I did my bit. But Harikatha is a river. He or she, Harikatha, Radha or Krishna, they can move in the direction of their own accord. And also, river has a very interesting understanding. The river takes the stone to the ocean. We are all like stones. Harikatha is the river, and Krishna's lotus feet is the ocean of mercy. This is the power of Harikatha. It can drag anybody. But at the same time, if I ask this question, how do rivers originate? We will say, well, there's snow on the top of the mountains and they melt and they flow down as rivers, yes? And that's exactly what happens in Harikatha. The heart, the consciousness of pure Vaishnavas is very tall. Chittadri Samplavaka, Karna Nandisa Narma Ramya Vachana, Kotindu Shitangaka, Shri Gopendra Suta, Sakarshati Balat, Panchendriyanyali me. The consciousness of sadhus who are speaking Hari Katha is as tall as a mountain peak, very high in consciousness. And at the same time, it is cold like ice, like snow. They are peaceful. There's no heat, there's no agitation. They are peaceful. Kshantihi avyartha kalatvam. They are very peaceful. Titikshava karunika suridas sarvadehinam. So acharyas who are speaking Hari Katha, they are like tall mountains. And their consciousness is as cold as snow, very peaceful. But when they see the heat in the lives of others in the form of distress, that snow melts. And when it melts, it comes as rivers of Hari Katha from the lips of the sadhu. Shrinvanti. By hearing this Hari Katha, we become purified. I want to tell you a little story about hearing. There was a very great Vaishnav who came to Vrindavan once. He had come from South India, from Telangana, present day Telangana. This Vaishnav came to Vrindavan and he was singing a very beautiful Braj Bhasha poetry. Now, coming from Telangana, you would expect them to sing something in Telugu. But he, 550 years ago, came to Vrindavan and was singing in Braj Bhasha. Sakhi ho sham rang rangi. Oh Sakhi, I am dipped in the ocean of love for Sham Sundar. Imagine someone from South India coming to Vrindavan and singing in Braj Bhasha. Jiva Goswami heard this. Jiva Goswami said, where is this poetry coming from? Where is this poetry coming from? So this sadhu said, actually there is a very great devotee in South India. He composes in Braj Bhasha. He is actually Telugu, Dakshinatya Brahmana, but he composes in Braj Bhasha. So this is his poetry. His name is Gadadhar Bhattacharya. What is his name? Gadadhar Bhattacharya is the poet. So his poetry was heard by this Brajbasi. And the Brajbasi, this South Indian person who came to Vrindavan. And he was singing this song. And Jiva Goswami heard the whole song, and the song said, "Oh Sakhi, how can I explain to you? I am dipped and drowning in the love for Shyamasundar." So Jiva Goswami heard this and said, "Gadadhar Bhattacharya is the author?" The sadhu said, "Yes." Jiva Goswami said, "I have a little request. Can you send a letter from my side to him? When you go back to Telangana, can you give this letter to him?" Letter from Jiva Goswami as a feedback on the song, on the comment, on the composition. So this visitor, he said, okay. Jiva Goswami wrote something on that letter and gave it to this traveler. This traveler took it down to Telangana. And he himself had never met Gadadhar Bhattacharya. He had just heard his poetry. So he went from door to door and said, "Can someone tell me which is the house of Gadadhar Bhattacharya?" Devotee started saying, "Ahead. That's where Gadadhar Bhatta lives." So this traveling sadhu, he came. And he came to a house where a person was using datun to brush his teeth near a well. So the sadhu came to this person, the person who was brushing. The sadhu from Vrindavan got this letter of Jiva Goswami to the one with the brush, with the datun, and asked him, "Do you know where Gadadhar Bhattacharya lives?" So this person with the datun said, "You can tell me what is the work? What do you have to pass on the message? And where are you from? Who are you?" So this sadhu said, "Well, I have come from Vrindavan." As soon as this person with the datun heard Vrindavan, oh, he fell down. The datun fell from his hand, he fell down. He was horripilating, frothing from his mouth. Tears coming from his eyes, and his lips were moving, Vrindavan, 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 unconscious. All the villagers came around. This visiting sadhu said, I just asked him where Gadadhar Bhattacharya is. I don't know, I didn't do anything. So the villagers said, he is only Gadadhar Bhattacharya. What did you tell him? He said, I just told him I am from Vrindavan. So the villager said, he is such a great devotee. As soon as he hears Vrindavan, he faints. But Vishasya Visham Aushadam. If Vrindavan is the poison which is almost killing him in separation, then say Vrindavan again and he will wake up. So the sadhu went to the ear of Gadadhar Bhattacharya and said, Vrindavan, Vrindavan, and Gadadhar Bhattacharya woke up and said, you have come from Vrindavan. Tell me, how can I serve you? So this sadhu said, I have got this letter from Srila Jiva Goswami. Gadadhar Bhattacharya took the letter and he started reading the letter. And the letter read, Anaradhya Radham Padamboja Renum Anashritya Brinda Tavitat Padankam Asambhasya Tadbhava Gambhira Chittan Kutashama Sindhora Sasyavagaha. Jiva Goswami had written in that letter, without taking the foot dust of Srimati Radharani's lotus feet, without living in Vrindavan, without having conversations with sadhus in Vrindavan, pure devotees in Vrindavan, in the Gaudiya Sampradaya, like Jiva Goswami, Raghunath Das Goswami, the letter said, how did you living in Telangana develop so much love for Krishna? It was a sarcastic comment that how is it that he didn't say, you cannot develop love. He said, but how did you develop love? Meaning that if you really want to drown in the ocean of love for Krishna, you must take dust from Radharani's lotus feet. You must live in Vrindavan and associate with advanced Vaishnavas like Raghunath Das Goswami there. As soon as Gadadhar Bhattacharya heard this, with that letter in his hand, he ran from Telangana to Vrindavan. He came to Jiva Goswami and said, you have opened my eyes. Please instruct me. Jiva Goswami told Gadadhar Bhattacharya, I will teach you Srimad Bhagavatam and I want you to speak Srimad Bhagavatam here in Vrindavan, no going back to Telangana. So Gadadhar Bhattacharya became a Gaudiya Vaishnava Acharya and he became a student of Srila Jiva Goswami. He learned Srimad Bhagavatam from Srila Jiva Goswami and his service was speaking Srimad Bhagavatam. Now is the connection to Shravanti. Listen to this, Shrinvanti. Gadadhar Bhattacharya, as he spoke Srimad Bhagavatam, the king of Rajasthan, Raja Kalyan Singh, he would come every day and hear Harikatha. And you know, it's a very risky thing to hear Harikatha every day. Why? What's the problem in hearing Krishna Katha every day? Oh yes, you will get attached to Krishna. Then how is that a problem? Bandhu sange jodi tava ranga parihas. Rupa Goswami Pad and Bhaktivinoda Thakur has said, oh jivas in this world, if you want to be happy cutting jokes with friends and talking gossip of this world, just do me a favor, never go to Vrindavan and have darshan of Krishna on the banks of the Jamuna. Why? Because if you have darshan of Krishna on the banks of Jamuna in Vrindavan, I doubt you will come home. Then you will miss on all your gossip. Rupa Goswami says, I don't want you to miss on all those gossip. Therefore, don't hear Harikatha every day. This is a sarcastic comment Rupa Goswami is making. So Raja Kalyan Singh of Rajasthan, he came and he would hear Srimad Bhagavatam from Gadadhar Bhatta Goswami every day. And slowly what happened? Raja Kalyan Singh started getting attached to Srimad Bhagavatam. He would never bring the queen to hear Srimad Bhagavatam. Because in those times, the culture in society was such that the queen would not come in public. She would not show her face. People can't see her easily and things like that. So the king said, no, you should not come. You should sit at home. I will go in here and I will come and share. But the problem is, he would not come home. He would go hear Hari Katha, serve Gadadhar Bhatta Goswami, come home for a couple of hours, again go back next day and fan Gadadhar Bhatta Goswami and hear Srimad Bhagavatam for days together. Now the queen had a problem with that. The queen said, if you wanted to be a sannyasi like this, you could have taken sannyas. Why become a grihastha and act like this? You have no time for me, you have no time for your children. The queen started getting more and more distanced from bhakti because the king would go and hear Hari Katha. One fine day, the queen got a dancer and said, I will give you my gold necklace if you do something for me. I want you to go in the middle of the assembly of the Hari Katha of Gadadhar Bhatta Goswami and loudly scream, Oh Gadadhar Bhatta, you're sitting and speaking Bhagavatam. What to speak of speaking Bhagavatam? You're not even a proper human being. Who will take care of the baby in my womb? You are the father of the child. And now you've rejected me and you're sitting and speaking Bhagavatam. Gadadhar Bhattacharya was a very renounced sadhu. The queen wanted to frame Gadadhar Bhatta through this dancer. Surely enough, the dancer, for the greed of the golden chain, she went into the assembly and started screaming, Oh Gadadhar Bhatta, stop acting as a sadhu. You're such a hypocrite. You have fathered this baby. Take care of me now. And because of you, many of them are becoming like that in the audience, she screamed. Gadadhar Bhatta did not even frown a bit. He smiled. He looked at her and said, Oh Devi, please sit in the assembly. If Krishna can solve the problem of birth and death, he will solve your problem too. Sit down. Which means he almost accepted that with a smile. The king thought to himself, what a great sadhu. Gadadhar Bhattacharya is being framed and accused in mid-assembly, and instead of refuting, he's accepting. One sadhu in that assembly, he did not like it. So after that Hari Katha, he took that dancer to the side and said, I am a sadhu. I can curse you to death with the touch of my Brahmin thread. Tell me the truth. The dancer just blurted out the truth. She said, well, I just got greedy. The queen bribed me for the gold necklace. I am not even pregnant. I was given money to do this. Gadadhar Bhatta, I don't even know who he is. This is the first time I'm seeing him. The sadhu said, what you told me in private, I want you to tell in public. She said, okay. She came in that same assembly the next day when Bhagavatam was spoken. And she loudly said, what I said yesterday was false. The queen had bribed me for a gold necklace. I don't even know who the sadhu is on the Vyasas, and I'm sorry. When the king heard this, he removed his sword. Because he didn't like what his wife had done. So Gadadhar Bhattacharya looked at the king and said, my heart is bleeding. You have been hearing Hari Katha for so many days and you're picking up your sword to kill your wife? Haven't you heard any Krishna Katha? Isn't there any transformation in your heart? The king said, it is the queen's fault that she's trying to frame you, therefore I'm trying to stand up for you. Gadadhar Bhattacharya said, the dancer is not at fault because poor lady, she was just bribed. She wanted money. So she's not at fault. And even if she made a mistake, she was honest to come and say that I lied. The queen is not at fault. She just needs your time and attention. The king was now not understanding who's at fault. Gadadhar Bhattacharya, with his pure heart, he looked at the king and he said, it is your fault. The king said, I have been sitting and hearing Hari Katha. How is it my fault? Gadadhar Bhattacharya said, your fault is you have been hearing Hari Katha alone. You should have got your queen with you. Instead of prioritizing a low rule that she should not be seen in public, nobody should see her, you are following a lower rule and breaking a higher rule. She would have got time with you and both of you would have made advancement together by hearing Krishna Katha. You blocked her spiritual advancement. Therefore, all this has happened. So if the sword has to be removed, it shouldn't be removed for her, it should be removed for you. Gadadhar Bhattacharya said, there is no problem in the heart, in the consciousness, that cannot be cured by Hari Katha. By hearing Krishna Katha every day, Shrunvanti, Gayanti, Grinanti Sadhavaha, Tadvag Visargo, Janataga Viplavo, Yasmin Pratishlokam Abhadyavatyapi, Namanyanantasya, Yasho Ankitaniyat, Shrunvanti, Gayanti, Grinanti Sadhavaha. Bhagavatam describes, when we hear Krishna Katha, it is Krishna who enters the ear and enters the heart and he does the cleaning. He takes the broom and he cleans the heart. We don't have to worry. I am very lusty, I am very greedy, I am very proud, I am very insecure, I am very envious, I am very jealous. So be it. Just like the baby is smeared with stool and urine, the baby doesn't think of cleaning himself. All that the baby does is go to the mother. Now the mother picks up the baby and cleans the baby. Dear devotees, Kuntī Devi is saying, Krishna Katha, based on Krishna's pastimes, is the mother. We are all like babies. We may have anarthas in the form of stool and urine in our consciousness, like lust and anger and pride. Don't worry about cleaning it. Just go to the mother called Hari Katha, sit on her lap, she will clean the baby. And naturally, when there is hearing about Krishna, Shrunvanti, somebody has to do Gayanti. This is where Prabhupada said preaching is the essence. The real problem in this world, my Guru Maharaj very beautifully explains. When you walk on the street or on the sidewalk, you see these skyscrapers are so tall. In Dubai, this example becomes even more significant. When we walk, the skyscrapers are so tall. But my Guru Maharaj says, you sit on an airplane and you fly up in the sky. Those same skyscrapers look so small. Those which look very tall now, look very small when you're on the airplane. Which means, when we have low consciousness, every problem looks tall. But when we sit on the plane of Hari Katha, Krishna Katha, and we fly high in increased consciousness, then those big skyscraper problems look so insignificant. So Srila Prabhupada taught, we have to speak Krishna Katha, everyone, each one of us. As our Sri Vallabha Prabhu was mentioning couple of days ago, it's not about becoming a scholar. Even half a verse that we know, even one verse that we know. Each one teach one. Shrunvanti, Gayanti, Grinhanti, practicing Krishna consciousness, speaking Krishna Katha, and letting everyone hear Krishna's holy name and Krishna Katha. If this happens, Queen Kuntī says, very soon Krishna will appear in the heart and we will have darshan of his lotus feet. And if we have darshan of his lotus feet, no more darshan of any other mother's womb ever again. Ta eva pashyantya chirena tavakam bhava pravaho paramam padambhujam. Kuntī Devi has said the path to see Krishna is hearing about him, chanting about him, accepting the principles of Krishna Bhakti and remembering, Smaranti. Very, very beautiful path of Bhakti. To hear about Krishna, to chant, japa, kirtan, preaching, to remember the deity, to remember the pastimes, to remember so many stories and pastime places. And most importantly, Grinhanti, to accept and practice this in our life. Janma sarthaka kari kara para upakar. Like we see in the airplane, we oxygen mask ourselves and then help others oxygen mask themselves. So in this way, we practice bhakti, we find joy and we share that joy around. Queen Kuntī says, This is the fourth reason. Reason number 1 of Krishna's appearance, to please the devotees in his dynasty. Reason number 2, to pacify, remove the separation of Devaki and Vasudeva. Reason number 3, to reduce the burden of Mother Earth. And reason number 4, to perform such pastimes, hearing, chanting and remembering which we will become purified and go back home, back to Godhead. Thank you very much. Hare Krishna.